Hey guys, so here's the video to review exponent properties. Now, these are just the very basic properties, and in the worksheet that you do, you will kind of just put these all together, sometimes, many times more than one in each example. Okay, so let's start with number one. So anytime you have a variable to an exponent times that same variable to an exponent, you will add these exponents. Okay, so this would just be x to the 3 plus 2, which obviously is just x to the 5th. Okay, so x cubed times x squared is just x to the 5th. All right, now if you have them in parentheses, so you have like an exponent to another exponent, here's when you would multiply them. So x to the 3rd times 4, which is just x to the 12th. Okay, now let's say you have an exponent out here and all right, so you have an exponent out here and you have more than one thing in here. Okay, now you will have to, I guess, for lack of better words, distribute this, or not really distribution, but this goes to everything on the inside. Okay, so this is just x to the 4th, y to the 4th. Okay, just like if you would have, like, I don't know, 2y squared. Okay, this would equal both the 2 squared and the y squared. So it'd be 2 squared y squared, which is 4y squared. Okay, this exponent applies to everything on the inside of the parentheses. That's one that is often missed because some people only want to apply it to the thing that's closest to. All right, let's look at this here. So same thing. This applies to both the x and the y. So this is just x to the 3rd over y to the 3rd. Okay, if I look at this, anytime you have the same variable and you have a fraction, you're going to subtract the top from the bottom, or the bottom from the top, I guess. So this would be x to the 5 minus 2, which is just x to the 3rd. Okay, if you forget that, think of what x to the 5th is. Well, x to the 5th is just x times x times x times x times x, right? And then x squared is x times x. So you would cancel these out, or you would subtract them, and you're just left with x to the 3rd. So if you forget that rule, you could always draw it out. Now, if the top is smaller than the bottom, it's still the same concept. Okay, so this is just x to the 2 minus 5, which is x to the negative 3. And what we will learn here is anytime we have a negative exponent, that means it goes to the bottom. Okay, so this is just 1 over x cubed. And we could have done the same thing here, but flip the top and bottom to where we just have the 3 on the bottom. Guys, anything to the 0 power is always going to be 1. People like to think it's 0. It's not. It's to the 1 power. Okay, and then like we just said, x to a negative exponent, this is 1 over x to the 5th. Okay, however, something you do remember is if you have like 2 over x to the negative 2, okay, if you have a negative exponent and it's already in the denominator, then it will move up to the numerator, so like 2x squared. Okay, so if it's in the numerator and it has a negative exponent, it moves to the denominator. But if it's in the denominator and it has a negative exponent, it moves up into the numerator.